I sleep 4 to 5 hours.
It looks very good for this time of sleeping. Друзья, приветствую! Мы сейчас находимся на стенде Dream Yacht Charter на выставке яхтный каннский фестиваль. И я хочу взять интервью у основателя и CEO компании Dream Yacht Charter, Loic. We want to ask you some questions. How did you start the business? When it was? How did you decide to do it? And what your starting investments in this area?
Yeah, I founded Dream Yacht in 2001 in Seychelles Islands with a fleet of 6 boats, and step by step we grow. Now we have reached the 1,000 boats marked, so we operate 51 bases worldwide. So the growth has been steady during the past 18 years at a pace of 15 to 20% per year, and it's all based on customer service. The only reason I think that we succeed is because the company is customer oriented.
You just founded it with your own money, so you take a leasing? It just was questions from Facebook from our audience.
Yeah, well, what I did, I was in the industry before, so I purchased my first 6 boats with loan from the bank, and I invested my assets as well, of course. And then I grew actually without any support, just with the profit made in the company. All the money was always reinvested. And only last year we decided to have some financial partners, so a private equity company join along with Fontaine Pajot.
Yeah.
But for the first 17 years I did on my own.
Okay, you told me that the main success factor was customer service. It's a very huge company now. It's more than 50 bases. How do you manage hiring other people? What are your key factors? How do you choose managers? How do you choose base managers? Because all of them are living all over the world. They have different minds, culture. So what are your key features, and how do you manage with all of this?
Yeah, the key features is that what is a base first, charter base, it's if you compare to car industry, it's like a garage, but we take care of boats, so it's more complex, And also we are like a hotel, resort. We have to provide service to customers that are on the boat to enjoy vacations. So a good base manager needs to have some knowledge regarding the boats and able to organize a little company, and he has to be very customer oriented. So and it's very difficult. Sometimes you have some guys, they know the boats, they are able to manage a company, but they love too much the boats. Our main asset is not the fleet. The only real asset of a company like Dream Yacht is the clients. It's worth much more money than our fleet. So I always tell them, guys, what is really important is to focus on the client. Of course, boats, they need to be maintained, you need to love them, but first you love the clients. And when you find a guy who is able to deal with both sides and to be well balanced, it's done.
So there are too many base managers and one head office. How do you manage to understand that there is some problems that you need to solve? Maybe to send somebody from your head office to solve some questions. Maybe to change a base manager to find a new one. So how do you control all of this?
We have 2 levels of control. One is financial budget control. So there is one guy in charge of controlling the budget, okay, and we have operation manager in charge of controlling the product, because it's not all about money, it's also about what you deliver. We have what we call a fireman. It's a guy that has always been a base manager before, so he knows the job. Is like a fireman, so when we have an issue somewhere, it happens, he will go, and if needed he will stay 1 month, 2 months, 3 months to fix things, find new stuff, and so on and so on. So there is always one guy available for that.
So one guy for all bases.
Traveling around, you know.
And he don't sit on the place.
Yeah, he's, so he will. I mean, he might stay like 3 months in the same place if we have something ready to fix, or a week or 2 weeks. But he's a troubleshooter. Yeah. Personally, I look at all the complaints.
Really?
Yeah, so I can tell you, it's better to have not too many complaints because they spoil my time. So I said, I mean, guys, you know, I want to see all the claims, but I don't want to spend my day looking at claims. So the best way to make me happy, don't have unhappy clients.
It's very interesting. 1,000 yards all over the road. It's fantastic. How much time do you spend on your work? I mean, how many hours per day do you work?
An average of 15 hours.
15 hours.
Yeah. 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, but I try to have at least half a day off, you know.
What are the motivation for you? You're already the leader on the market and you're number one, your company. What are the motivation to work such a lot of time?
We are still like a medium-sized company, 450 employees. I know not all of them, but individually, but I know a lot. I have fun. So I don't have any hobby. I don't play golf. I don't like fancy cars, whatever. So for me, I am happy to work every morning, you know. I like to create new products. This year we'll open 2 new bases.
Which one?
Belize and St. Lucia. Next year we'll reopen Turkey and we'll open a base in Philippines. That's what I like, you know. And we just created a new product, the Boat Club. That's brand new at Dream Yacht. I'm interested in new business.
Yeah, I see. My friends ask about base in Belize when it started to work, because he's already want to book the catamaran.
January, end of January.
End of January 2019.
Yes.
Okay. Славик Беляев, конец января будет открыта база. What are the trends in your charter market? What are your aims to develop a new region, maybe new products in your company? What are you going to do in the next years? What are the point?
In the next year, I think we'll have more and more opportunities to develop new location in Asia, because it's quite unexplored. Also, we have a very, very fast growth on the tourism, what I call the tourism business. You know, we do by the cabin charter large catamaran. So we operate that like cruise ship. You book your cabin, you don't book the boat, and it's fully crewed, so you don't need to be a sailor. So it's a potential market is very wide.
I know that you bought Catalanta Shepherd and 10 or 12 catamarans, the Catalanta 600.
Yeah, we have, but we mostly have in the fleet now Lagoon 620 and from Fontaine Pajot Ipanema 58. And now we just made a deal with Fontaine Pajot. They will build for us a boat dedicated to our business. So it will be the first catamaran, 60-footer, dedicated to the by the cabin business. With really, it will be a kind of new type of boat.
So what was the key benefits from partnership with Fontaine Pajot? They invested money and they developed new boats according to your demands, yeah?
For Fontaine Pajot, yes, thanks to this now to be in the family, we can ask them if they can develop a boat for us. Of course, you know, they won't do it if we don't commit to buy some good numbers. So it doesn't mean because we have Fontaine Pajot as a shareholder, we can do anything. But if we come with a project and we commit to buy 50 boats in 5 years, 10 per year, they do it. Yeah, they listen to us and they do it.
So that means that there will be more Fontaine Pajot catamarans in your fleet than Lagoon in the next years? Or?
No, at the moment we have more Lagoons than Fontaine Pajot just because they produce more, you know. Dream Yacht is buying and selling over 200 boats per year, so we need to get boats from all of them.
Okay, and one more.
And also, you know, Dream Yacht, one of the main advantage of Dream Yacht is to be multi-brand. We offer our clients the largest choice of boats, so we want to keep that.
You are not belong to one company as Mooring, for example, is Leopard.
Yeah, we have a different business model. We want to offer, and we offer, all the brands.
How many of yachts are private owned by Dream Yacht Charter? How many yachts are invested by other investors according to charter management program? Can you
50-50.
50-50? So 50 is owned by
Dream Yacht, and 50% are owned by owners with yacht management program. You know, like the one we promote here.
Yeah, we have interview with Clement and we publish it.
Okay, so you know.
My friend asked from Azerbaijan, asked, are you going to develop this region? I know that you had considered before opening base in Black Sea, but it's very short season. So are you looking at this region as potential, or?
I am open-minded. I don't have the metrics, you know. I need to have information. So if your friend can send me some more details, I can look at it. Okay. I like a new challenge, so why not?
What difficulties did you face during developing your company, and what was the most difficult stage of development for you? Beginning, maybe after 5 years, or now? What do you say?
At the beginning, it was to get financement. You know, you need money.
It's not a secret. What percentage rate, what interest rate was for your loan?
Well, the rate was not the issue. It was just to get it. Okay, the rates were, market rate, but it was really to get approved. So that was really the main issues for the first 15 years, I will say. Now, the largest challenge is to be able to remain number one with family style management, attention to details, customer care, so not to lose the turtle spirit. I mean, Dream Yacht is known for the turtle, to take care of clients, to take care of employees. We have to, that's our main challenge, to make sure we don't lose our DNA. When
did you become first? I mean, there was Mooring and Sail, who was the leaders, and now you are bigger.
We came number one by chance. Last year, remember, there was this big storm in the Caribbean. Irma. We lose boats for sure, but far less than Mooring and Sail. So they lost 3 times more boats than us, and then, of course, we became first.
Do you have time for sailing by yourself?
Unfortunately, not a lot of time. I try to have 1 week in winter and vacation, and 1 week in summer to sail. Either one week in summer, either 1 week in winter.
And what is your favorite sailing
Pacific.
region? Pacific, French Polynesia? Or
yes, I love French Polynesia. Yeah. Well, not only Bora Bora. It's not actually the place. I love Polynesia, but especially the Tuamotu.
And what about summertime?
Summertime, I go to Pacific in summertime. I mean, the Med Sea is too crazy. It's too crowded, Too many people for me.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Maybe some questions from my colleague.
When you go into the sea, can you just turn off your phone?
No.
For 1 week.
That's why I choose very remote location, like the Tuamotus in the French Polynesia, or the San Blas in the Caribbean, because these places, I mean, there is no connection. So even if I don't turn off, I have no choice.
Okay, thank you one more time.
Thank you.
Finish.